day to all of you viewers, 6 p.m. In Douala, it's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Magistrates right away, the co-chairperson of REDAC and human rights advocate, Barrister Alice Nkom, in a release signs that Ross on December 18 declares that she is not ready yet to meet the senior divisional officer for the Buea until January next year. This is after Barrister Alice Nkom was convocated or summoned by the SDO for the Buea for a second time, Celia Marie, to provide explanations to allegations levied against her. And is Barrister Alice Nkom worried about any imminent arrest? The answer in this news edition. Plus, as the end of year festivities approach, road accidents are also very rampant during this festive period. A woman in her 70s today died after she was violently hit by a truck in Buea. Viewers, those are our major stories. Let us come back for details and more. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. We just told you in the headlines that as end-of-year festivities approach, road accidents are also very rampant. In Buea, in the Fakol division, a woman in her late 70s was killed by a heavy-duty truck that was around the Buea market in Buea. Mama Ambe Suzanne died on the spot after her two legs were crushed by the vehicle violently. Rex Afon tells us more from Buea.
Anguish and grief caught the population of Buea Market in Buea this morning, who before their very eyes witnessed how Mama Ambe Suzanne was being crushed by this heavy-duty truck.
We're here, suddenly, we hear a lot of noise. I was inside the house. I heard a lot of noise. By coming outside, I just saw the legs of the mother under the camion. The camion was passing, the car was parked beside the road. The space that the mother was trying to pass in between was so tight. So the camion now take her leg and ground under the camion. Just like that, the mother passed.
The woman, who was in her late 70s, just finished selling her plantains and was crossing the road to go home before she got trapped under the vehicle.
This morning time, that mommy don't send the 2 grandpicking, they don't bring plantain.
This morning, she sent her 2 grandchildren with 2 bunches of plantains. I was the one who helped them place it when they arrived. Their grandmother, who was behind, came, sold both bunches, then told me, "Ernestine, I am done selling. Let me go home." As she was crossing the road, we only heard her under the truck shouting. We started shouting also and calling the driver's attention to know that there was someone under the truck. As he was trying to reverse, he crushed her legs.
At her family residence here in Bakery Street, Quarter 3 Buea, her family members and neighbors are inconsolable. They cannot believe it is the same Ambe Suzanne whom they saw this morning that is now being spoken of in the past. Her corpse has been taken to the Buea Regional Hospital mortuary, while the driver of the truck is currently under police custody.
Sad indeed, and our sincere condolences to the bereaved family. It is the end of year period, so vigilance should be the watchword. Over to one of our big stars, Barrister Alice Nkom, a human rights advocate, in a release which was signed on December 18 that was yesterday, declares that she is not ready to meet the senior divisional officer for the Buea until January next year, that is precisely on the 10th of January. This is after she was convocated by the senior divisional officer for the Buea Vogo, Celia Marie, to provide explanations to allegations levied on her. You have the details with Mara Glory.
The meeting between Vogo Celia Marie, Senior Divisional Officer for Buea, and Barrister Alice Nkom, Human Rights Advocate and Chairperson of the Network of Human Rights Defenders, REDAC, will not hold this December 19, 2024. Barrister Alice Nkom, in a release signed on December 18, justified his absence by the non-availability of her lawyers, whom she says are presently out of the country for professional and health issues. In the letter, the human rights defenders suggest that she will only be available to answer present on the 10th of January 2025. She was summoned by the senior divisional officer after she destroyed the seal imposed on the head office of the network here in Douala after it was suspended by the Minister of Territorial Administration over allegations of illegal funding. The minister had sent a third convocation urging her to explain why she had to cut off an administrative seal at her office. According to Barrister Alice Nkom, the minister's decision and the sealing of the head office of the network was illegal. It is since the 19th of December that the board chair of REDAC have been at loggerhead with the senior divisional officer for Wuri. This is after the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paula Tanganji, on 5th December 2024, issued a decree without prior notification suspending the activities of the Central African Human Rights Defenders Network, REDAC, for 3 months. He cited as reasons, among others, illicit and exorbitant funding and lack of compliance with the legislation regulating the activities of non-profit organizations, an act widely criticized by national and international organizations.
And we had an interview earlier with Barrister Alice Nkom. We tried finding out from her if she is not expecting to get an arrest warrant following all the recent tussle with the senior divisional officer for the Buea. Now let's just ask the question straight away. Barrister Alice Nkom, aren't you worried you could be arrested anytime soon?
No. Yeah. You must be proud when you know that you did not infringe the law, when you know that the law is your arm and that you didn't hurt anybody. You must not be afraid. Imagine if Mandela was afraid, we'd never have Mandela. When Mandela went to jail, he was so younger than I am today. And at last, he became president of the South Africa. He never be afraid. And he was ready to go back to jail to defend his convictions and values.
And now a legal mind, Derek Hina, who is a jurist, tells us that the administrative tolerance, which was mentioned by Minister Paula Tanganji in his recent press conference in Yaoundé, should as well be implemented. Let's listen to him in this interview.
Now, it is true there is administrative tolerance in so many sectors in Cameroon and even in the civil society space. But the question we begin to ask ourselves is, do we go for administrative intolerance and face the consequences of millions of Cameroonians that are in dire need of these civil society organizations, who provide them with basic needs on a daily basis, who go to places where the state has found it very difficult to operate, and these organizations, they act as intermediary between the outside world and the state of Cameroon to take from the outside world and feed the needy in Cameroon. In my opinion, I think we need to start looking at a better means through which we dialogue with these organizations and we permit them continue with their humanitarian job. Thank you so much.
Away from that, let's now take you to Bonaberi, where bad roads, limited access to potable water, and also insecurity are some of the many challenges faced by the local population of the Douala 4 subdivision. These challenges were denounced by the local population during the budgetary session which took place recently. Details with Cedric Chakutu.
Inundations, poor conditions of roads, insecurity and lack of potable water are some of the challenges faced by the inhabitants of the Douala 4 subdivision. preoccupations which the population denounced during the budget session of the Douala 4 Council.
Vraiment, c'est grave. L'inondation est grave. Je fais les va-et-vient tous les jours dans l'eau. Il y a des jours même qu'on ne vend pas.
Nous, les élèves du lycée, nous souffrons à cause de l'inondation de la route. Tu prends la moto, arrivé peut-être au lycée, tu tombes dans l'eau avec le bébé qui meurt.
Worries taken into consideration by local authorities of the area who, during the meeting, voted a budget of 596,853,911 francs, which according to the mayor will help resolve the challenges faced by the population of the area.
Toutes les actions qui vont en direction des populations.
We are aware of the bad conditions of our roads and we are doing all we can to arrange the damaged roads.
Urbaine, en termes de routes, à Douala 4e. En ce qui concerne l'éclairage public, nous allons continuer.
For the potable water, are constructing boreholes to help the population in having potable water in their houses.
Une dizaine de forages qui sont en cours d'élaboration. Je pense que les populations...
Residents of Douala 4 subdivision are waiting for this project to be realized on field.
Now let's take you to Wabane. Wabane is a locality in the Buea division of the Southwest region where the people are complaining of bad states of roads and also limited access to social amenities. Our reporter Rex Afon Ross in the Buea division, he now tells us more about the problems faced by the people of Wabane.
The Wabane Council in the Buea division, whose activities has for some time now been interrupted by the armed conflict in the Southwest region, is finally regaining steam. This is why the Office of the Public Independent Conciliator is visiting them to outline their responsibilities to the local population and the population's obligations towards them.
The objective, as always, is to meet the grassroots population and talk with them. For those who have never heard about this office, so that they can know about the office, talk to them about our missions, have exchanges with them, and look for better ways in which, together with the municipality, the head of the council, who is the mayor, developmental projects can be realized fully.
Oftentimes, certain council workers have taken upon themselves to exploit some vulnerable people. With this meeting, the council's executive is now on the alert.
If they are my collaborators who are not straight, it will spare them to work better, because I will not spare them too. Because if your department, let's say civil status, is not working well, it's the council, it's the mayor. So it's going to change a lot, because they know that they are under scrutiny by those users, because many things can happen without the knowledge of the mayor. So, from what has happened, they know where they have to sit up.
Considering the social atmosphere which has prevented large-scale meetings in recent years like this come together has given the local population the chance to once more dance to the rhythm of their drums.
Now we move on to news out of Cameroon. At least 32 children have been confirmed dead during a stampede at a carnival in the southwestern Nigerian state of Oyo. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, several youths took to the streets to denounce ongoing plans to change the constitution. And finally, in Liberia, the House of Parliament caught flames that was on Wednesday. Our foreign page roundup with Immaculate Fogwe.
Stampede occurred at Islamic High School in Bosurun, Oyo State, near the economic hub of Lagos. Shortly after the unfortunate incident that left several children dead, security forces stormed the school premises, arresting the event organizers. The children who got injured were taken to local hospitals. Nigeria's National Emergency Service said it had deployed a team to help provide assistance to the victims. Local media identified the event organizers as a non-governmental organization which was preparing to host up to 5,000 young people at this year's event. In Liberia, residents of Monrovia woke up on Wednesday morning to see thick black smoke and flames rising from the Capitol building. The flames destroyed the entire joint chambers of the legislature. However, no one was in the building at the time of the unfortunate incident. The fire occurred a day after plans to remove Kofa from his speaker role sparked a tense protest. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, citizens' movement and opposition parties have joined forces to launch an awareness campaign called Patriote Engagé. Armed with megaphones and unwavering determination, they walked through the streets of Goma, urging people to say no to plans of amending the constitution. According to them, their priority now is peace, security, good governance, affordable living, infrastructure, and security. The youth-led campaign highlights their strong desire for political change and the urgent need to end the war.
Now let's talk sports. Elite One Championship clubs have told the Minister of Sport and Physical Education that money meant for them should be transferred directly into their various accounts. The club presidents were speaking during a consultation meeting that took place in Yaoundé. It was chaired by Chief Professor Narcisse Mwelekombe. Simanji Kangibril has the details.
Club presidents say they want any subvention meant for them to be sent directly to them rather than going through the Cameroon Football Federation before getting to them. What is meant for Feuve Azul should be deposited in its bank account. The subvention is not for FECAFOOT. The desire of all is that the money should be deposited in the account of the professional league clubs. At a meeting with the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, the clubs showed interest to the return of the Professional Football League of Cameroon as they now doubt FECAFOOT. The text states that football should be governed by the Professional Football League, which is an entity that has its own financial autonomy. They could decide to deposit it in the account of the Professional Football League. In my capacity as the representative of the Professional Football League, the club presidents are satisfied with our suggestion. The chair of the representative of the Cameroon Football Federation was empty during this meeting, though invited by the minister. The state is giving 560 million francs CFA to support the payment of players' salary, not to be confused with the 350 million francs CFA meant for the successful organization of the championship. A request of 350 million francs CFA was made at the office of the Prime Minister. 150 million francs CFA has already been withdrawn and given to FECAFOOT for the start of the league.
Mis à la disposition de la FECAFOOT pour le démarrage des champions.
The worries posed by the club presidents will be later transferred to the presidency of the Republic, who will decide on the next step to take. But already the different bank accounts of these clubs were collected at the end of the meeting.
Thanks, Matt, for that report. That brings us to the end of this edition of the news. Thank you, viewers, for always being with us. Don't go away. Our programs continue. Equinoxe comes up in about 40 or 10 minutes or so. That would be at 7 p.m. And the news in the French language comes up. That would be at 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television and see you again tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye for now.